How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Kleber legendary tier French destroyer. I don't know, Kleber is still one of my go-to, I suppose, favorite destroyers to play, just because it's so fun to kind of ambush basically anything and you're sort of capable at fighting anything. Gdansk and things with a lot of utility and I guess don't have to trade while being spotted can be a little tricky at times. Uh, but basically, Kleber can do mostly everything. I guess torpedoing may be a little troll. But these guns smack very, very hard. And the AP is just really fun to use against light cruisers. Any light cruiser, really. And anything in range, you can definitely Citadel them if they are broadside. One of the problem destroyers that we would have to face in this match is a Katsanis, and we are out trading him fairly well. We tried to utilize Kleber's fast speed and also the reload boost, which funnily we actually were able to use the full duration. Usually I feel like destroyers will, or at least Katsanis and Gdansk would have probably stopped quick enough, but I feel like we might have gotten lucky and incapped his engine, so he wouldn't have been able to slow down nearly as fast as I suppose he should have. Enemy Shimakaze at 1 bar. Unfortunately, Z46 eats torpedoes. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that the dude was not running his sonar. Enemy Minotaur charging in. I just took a pot shot while we had the opportunity. Especially because we had AP loaded. I was kind of hoping our friendly ships, all at A, behind the island, were able to kind of finish off the Shima since there's not really anything for them to shoot at. Yamato is too far behind an island, and so is that Minotaur. So I was kind of hoping that the teammates behind the island would have been able to kill the Shima, but no, that's a destroyer that we will have to worry about. There's an enemy Delaware all the way at the back of the map in their spawn, and he tried to drop an airstrike on me, but luckily we were able to slow down and kind of dodge the airstrike. Now we're just going to reverse and see what we can spot from this position. I'm not sure if I really want to go try to chase the enemy Shima. I mean, I probably should, just because since he survived, he is basically going to go and torp all of our teammates at A. Or on the other hand, there still is an enemy destroyer at C, and also a Napoli that's just charging straight through the middle. So we kind of need to worry about where everything is currently. And I mean, that Yamato's not pushing. We do catch the enemy Minotaur trying to YOLO in, which could be a problem. I'm not really sure how he's able to charge in this far without just simply getting dev struck. But it seems like all of our battleships didn't really want anything to do with this flank once the Shima got away. So that is kind of unfortunate. But also the DD kind of dying to torpedoes when he should have had sonar is also really tragic. We have come and got to Minotaur's broadside, and like I mentioned before, Kleber's AP is absolutely nasty, and we can Citadel the Minotaur and basically every light cruiser as we are Citadeling them. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention to the Yamato, and we lost about 2 bars of our HP. And at this point, it's time to just pop our reload boost because I'd rather finish off the Minotaur before I go down, if anything. And yeah, that was almost really bad. We did finish that Minotaur off, and we have 20 Citadels, which is always funny to see, especially in a destroyer. But now, we're still spotted. Enemy Shima is in A. We don't really have a whole lot of HP, and there's still one more destroyer on the other side, which is a Velos. Somehow our friendly Katsanis, or I don't remember. Yep, it's a Katsanis, not a Gdansk, is failing to kill a Velos when the entire enemy team is so far away on that side in their spawn. Not really sure why the Katsanis is struggling the way he is, because no battleships will nuke him. All he has to do is radar the destroyer like he did, and then gun him down because, well, Katsanis guns and really any of those alternate destroyer line destroyers are very nasty when it comes to their DPM. Our team slowly dying to basically everything. Katsanis was unable to kill the Velos, and now we kind of need to worry about the enemy destroyer and where he's going. Velos was very healthy, and considering he got away, I don't think the Katsanis was shooting. I mean, you look at the map and see how far the enemy team was compared to the friendly ship that we have next to the Katsanis. I feel like that should have been a very easy kill for the Katanis. Velos, still the closest ship to us, and now the enemy conch that was reversing in their spawn decided to push in. We're going to try and slow him down. We are also capping B, so trying to get a advantage when it comes to points, because I'm not very confident in our team and their abilities to, I guess, win this match. So we're just going to try and put pressure on the enemy team to actually have to push in, especially because we don't have the torp range to go and torpedo them or do anything really. Enemy Velos is contesting C, and the enemy team is pushing in towards C. I think the Quetzalnis needed to have killed the Velos much sooner, just so that he wouldn't have support. And then now I just realized that I have only one rack per side, because that Yamato salvo actually destroyed 2 of my torp tubes in 1 salvo, and then it's also 1 on each side, so it's very awkward to have to use 1 torp rack on each side and then turn, but it is what it is. Enemy conch constantly changing his course, although we kind of predicted his full turn, even though he was sailing to the left. And he does eat 1 torpedo, unfortunately, because we only have 1 rack per side. Wasn't nearly as easy to predict. I mean, if we had 2 torp racks on one side, we probably would have landed more than 1. But it is what it is. Conch is pushing in and just letting this flood go. I'm going to see if we can wait until he decides to DCP, and then we will most likely start shooting at him to ideally set a bunch of fires and then have him burn down and eventually die, especially because we still have our team basically in 1 square at sea. Our destroyer the team is in 1 square at A, but our destroyer on C hasn't really done anything. Enemy conch just shot, so we are kind of free to start gunning him and try to set a bunch of fires. We get 1 fire pretty quickly. Conch did pop his super heal. We have 2 kills, so we're going to do our best to keep farming him, although unfortunately there's not really anything that's keeping him spotted. This would have been a great position to use and keep farming the conch, but yeah, unfortunately our team is still in spawn. Also, our Quetzalnis ended up dying, and the enemy Velos is still alive, so basically the Quetzalnis just failed to do his job. Z46 on our team also failed to do his job and died to torpedoes when he has sonar. So yeah, kind of really unfortunate team. We're just going to keep waiting for this conch to get closer into our range. We're also keeping our eye on the conch and when he shoots. Luckily, our team is sort of pushing in at A, so we are able to wait for the conch to fire his guns, and then once he does, we start gunning him again to try and set multiple fires. Enemy conch now charging in towards our team that's at A. Not really sure where the enemy Shima went. He's definitely not really torping our team effectively. I think he killed maybe 1 thing, and it was a battleship. But now we're looking at the map and seeing where the torpedoes are coming from. Shima is not on the flank trying to torp from the top left corner of the map. Instead, he's actually in his spawn, kind of where he was last spotted, and probably torpedoing it through the gaps in the islands, which is kind of interesting. Also, this conch has been getting reset, and they are still capturing B, so we have an idea that the Shimakaze is actually in that objective. We keep sailing to A though, because it would be a good idea to try and capture this objective before trying to go after the Shimakaze, because the Shima is going to cap B, and our team is probably gonna end up going down over here, and gonna take a very long time to capture these objectives. So we're just gonna stay here, capture the objective. Since the Shima already captured B, I'm going to assume that the Shima will try to go towards D next, and then I mean that's also gonna be where the enemy team that pushed through C will be. So we're gonna have to be extremely careful, because all it's gonna take is 1 salvo from any battleship with aim assist on to basically end us and, well, ruin our chances of actually winning this match. Perceptive pointing towards D. It's exactly where we said he was going to and also assumed. So we're just going to chase the Shima. I mean, he is very low. We saw him at the very start. I think one shell hit from anything, had they shot at him, probably would have finished him off. But yeah, we're also not using a very good concealment build. We have 6 kilometer detection, and there's a good chance Shima is going to outspot us very badly. But luckily, when we got spotted for that whole kilometer, Shima didn't end up turning away and keeping us spotted. Enemy Velos was also very low, and he did try to stop in his smoke, but he wasn't able to slow down in time, and we're actually able to finish off both enemy destroyers while surviving with 985 HP. The enemy Velos was also kind enough to drop a smoke, so we have a pretty good chance to just sit there and start farming things from within the smoke, especially because we are pushing towards the Izumo. We still don't see where that Louisiana is, so there's a good chance that he went through the middle gap at that sea island. And that's basically what we're kind of banking on. Our perceptive is also pointing in that direction, and lo and behold, there's the enemy Louisiana charging straight through that gap. So this smoke screen is in a perfect spot for us to take advantage of and basically shoot the broadside of the Louisiana. We also have a friendly cruiser behind us. I don't remember what it was, even though we just looked at it. I'm pretty sure it was either a Michelangelo or a Napoli. So he's going to be fairly tanky, and he won't just insta-die. So we can try to utilize his spotting to our advantage. And now that we're in the smoke, we just load AP and start pumping that tumor on the Louisiana full of holes. And this chunk damage that we're doing is really, really nasty. If we had a reload boost, it would have been great, but we do only have 2. Sometimes I kind of miss my San Luis full reload boost build, so we could have 4 and basically use them whenever we really wanted to. But unfortunately, Robin is a very good commander. Trying to hit that one angled part of the tumor, unfortunately we weren't able to hit it, and we missed out on a kraken, although there is still one more ship to try and, I guess, get the kraken from, although we're not really sure what that Izumo decided to do, and we're also not sure how far he is. We also only have 1 rack per side, so we're going to have to be very, very careful when it comes to trying to secure our kraken here. We do have a fairly good points lead, and I don't really expect our team to throw, although you never really know what your team is capable of. Just kind of hoping maybe this Izumo gets spotted, and then I have a chance to torpedo him. Izumo gets spotted. He stopped just barely in time to dodge those torpedoes, and now he's going to reverse away from our friendly Minotaur, which is kind of weird. I don't know where his guns are facing, but I feel like Izumo probably would have wanted to charge into the cruiser. Enemy Izumo trying to reverse away, trying to be cheeky here and only poking up my stern around the island. I just launched my torps thinking that he's going to sail forward, and well, Izumo takes a pot shot with his front guns. His third turret doesn't have the angle, and we're now just going to finish off the Izumo by shooting his bow. And now we got to secure our kraken. I mean, there was definitely mistakes at the start, not paying attention to that Yamato and making it a lot more stressful than it should have been, being on basically 1 bar of HP, and also getting caught by that Minotaur without a reload boost. But yeah, we're able to secure Kraken and 40, let's round that up, 4,300 base XP in a Kleber, where most of the match we were sailing around with only like 5k HP. And yeah, this is a pretty good example, aside from the small mistakes, of why we enjoy Kleber so much. And also why we really like Robin. I think we had like a 4-ish second reload because we basically maxed out our stand or fall. The thing that gives us 0.2% per HP percent lost. So basically when we're on like, I don't know, 900 HP, we were essentially getting almost 20% reload buff. And you can see in that second row, we did take range, which maybe we would have been better off taking concealment. And then we had Scirocco to try and give us a little more turret traverse as well as reload, because Kleber guns are definitely nasty, although Gdansk has Kleber HE, but also more pen. Would be interesting if they ever gave that thing AP. and then we could see what that thing would do. Although since they have, what is it, quarter pen, not sure if that would ever happen. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway, guys, till next time, aloha.